Council for District 13. I'm actually also here on behalf of Lainey Hameson, and I do want the time to actually read what she has planned to say to you today. It reads as, on April 10th, as part of an effort spearheaded by Class Size Matters and the New York Charter Parents Association, parent leaders from throughout the city released a framework of shared principles calling for more transparency, accountability, equity, and parent input at both charter and district public schools. As a parent who has had children in both kinds of schools, I am well aware that we have much in common. Despite the ways in which this administration has manipulated us, used us for their own purposes, and tried to pit us against each other by making us fight for resources and space. I'm also too aware of the way in which parents and communities have been unfairly shut out of decision-making at both sets of schools. It is time we came together to work for a better system in which all parents have a voice in how our children are educated, and in which all our city students can thrive because they have been provided with an equitable and excellent education. Here are the principles that we are calling to be enacted. Educational quality and equality. Conditions at all schools, both charter and district schools, but in my opinion, charter schools are in our schools, so definitely their conditions are our conditions. Should provide a quality education for all children. All children deserve class sizes small enough for them to receive individual attention. As you know, charter schools have been able to do that, at least from grades K through 2, whereas our district schools have not been provided with the extra teacher in the classroom. So hence they may have some success in comparison to our district schools. We are really asking for evening out of the playing field with all the children. Whatever charter schools bring to the table, it should be matched in that particular public school that's already existing. Charter schools, we realize that the law does allow for them to use underutilized space, but what we are finding with the Department of Education, they are deliberately underutilizing our public schools in order to serve charter schools, and that means there's a fix, and that is a problem in doing that. So I really need you to address the law in regard to underutilization for charter schools. If it's to be used for incubated space, then that's what it should be, and the goal should be for the charter schools and to get their own space. I am definitely not for any type of co-locating, even with portfolio development that was here, new school development. That is a problem. There needs to be a moratorium on all new school development, because we need to pour the money and the resources into the schools that are already here. The children are not going to change. Just because you change the name of the school and put a child on a new uniform. Those are the same communities. Pour the money into those resources, not to create new schools just for the sake of saying, I created new schools, and all you did was shuffle children around. Okay, so I'm really asking also that if it's an opportunity to put a sunset to mayoral control, because that is the primary problem as you see the rollout of this continuous one-man dictatorship that we all are under, that it does not serve children best to have two non-educators at the helm of educating our children. So I'm really asking for the state legislature to really listen to everything that we actually already said to you last year. Really take all of that into consideration, to have a sunset for mayoral control to end immediately, because he is out of control and it has not helped black communities, okay? It has not helped us. So I really hope that you take everything into consideration here. I'm not gonna go any further, but I do have to say that I am a former charter school parent. So even speaking from experience, I do not believe that they have the best teachers in those schools because of high turnover. That bothers me a lot. They do not serve our special education children. I know that firsthand. They are not nice to some parents in those schools, and that needs to be looked into before we continue this so-called charter school movement. Do not lift the cap. Whatever you do not lift the cap for New York City. If you want to lift the cap, let the other big four stories, okay? But please, give more respect across the board to the parents of New York City children. And let us speak first, not wait the whole day. And we didn't eat anything. You owe us lunch and dinner today.
No problem. I can try what you want. Go get the menu. Let me just say I appreciate your concern. We tried to accommodate that as much as possible. So we did have some parents up earlier, so now we have some more.
Good evening, everyone. It's been a long day. Again, Mary Amistano, Vice President of the New York Charter Parent Association. I'm here to read a brief testimonial of a parent who had to leave to pick up his child. His name is Charles Hossain, and his son attends Ross Global Academy. My name is Charles Hossain, and my son is a third-grade student at Ross Global Academy Charter School. This is his third year attending RGA. The issues that I want to address at this public hearing are the lack of accountability and transparency. This has been a very hard year for me, dealing with an uphill battle with the administration and the board of directors at the school. Ross Global Academy has a major problem with bullying in the school, which causes a dangerous environment for the children. Students are receiving out-of-school suspensions and losing days of instructions without getting their due process. RGA has a very high rate of suspensions and incidences, and that the only reason that it's not high is because all are not being reported. They are suspending students and reporting them as incidences, which is a major problem when these children have lost a day or days of class instruction. I have requested a copy of the numbers of all school suspensions in each grade level from the beginning of the present school year. As of today, the administration and the board of directors have not responded to my request. My son has lost a drive for education due into part one of the curriculum, in which students are not getting a well-rounded education, but simply teaching them to pass the ELA exams. 2, his teacher was fired for telling the kids in his third grade class that she did not care about them or what happens to them. Also having to stand outside in the hot sun as punishment for not lining up correctly. This was unacceptable, and if it was not myself and other parents making a fuss of this incident, it would have been swept under the rug. It is sad when my son thinks that a teacher yelling and saying these things are things that should be normal. The administration knew about the behavior of his teacher for a month in his school and out of school and never dealt with this issue. There's no accountability. We need more change in charter schools. Thank you.
Thank you again, all of you, for your patience and your participation. And we look forward to continuing to work with you and provide you additional opportunities to represent the concerns that you have. You should be sure that we are not doing this as just an exercise, but that we to take what you have shared and hopefully use it to improve the experience of public education for our children, whether through charters or through what we call now the traditional public school.